Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We are here October 21st, 2020 for the Planning Commission Administrative Hearing. We only have one item on the agenda today, but before we begin, I need to read this statement on the Open and Public Meetings Act. In accordance with Utah Code 52.4.2074, I have determined that conducting meetings of the Provo City Planning Commission Administrative Hearing with an anchor location such as the Community Development Conference Room presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present there. These are the facts upon which I have made this determination. Utah has been in a declared state of emergency due to novel coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, since March 6, 2020, a disease outbreak which the World Health Organization has characterized as a pandemic. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention state that COVID-19 is easily spread from person to person between people who are in close contact with one another. The spread is through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks, and it may be spread by people who are non-symptomatic. Federal, state, and local authorities have recommended that individuals limit public gatherings, wear face masks, and follow social distancing guidelines. That individuals exposed to persons experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 self-quarantine for 14 days, and individuals experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 self-isolate to prevent and control the continuing spread of COVID-19. Notwithstanding that Utah generally and Utah County specifically, that sentence is actually not true anymore, so I'll skip that one. Physical distancing measures will be difficult to set up and maintain in the Community Development Conference Room. Therefore, for the next 30 days, all meetings of the Provo City Planning Commission Administrative Hearing will be conducted entirely via electronic means. Meetings are broadcast live and available later on demand at youtube.com/user/Provo Channel 17. Agendas and support materials are available at provo.org/PC admin hearing. To make a public comment or join a meeting via telephone, follow the instructions provided on public notices of each meeting. To send comments to the Provo City Commission Administrative Hearing members or weigh in on current issues, email them to dspublichearings@provo.org. Okay. So we'll go ahead and begin. Let me go to the first item here. I'll read it in and then turn it over to the staff member that is coordinating this application. Item 1 is Michael Shane requests project plan approval for the Mountain American Cougar Blvd Bank located at 430 West Cougar Boulevard in the general commercial zone. And this is in the Carterville neighborhood. We have Brandon Larson to present the item.
Okay, thank you, Brandon Larson, Development Services. You're seeing an aerial photo of the subject property. I've outlined the subject property in kind of a green shaded area, or overlaid it with a green shade. This aerial photo's from 2019, I believe, and so it shows an old service station that used to be located on the property. That service station has been raised and to make way for the proposed Mountain America Credit Union branch building. The subject property is currently there's some work being done to adjust the boundary of the properties, and so that's ongoing. If you can see some kind of funky parcel lines, those are being straightened out. There's some ongoing efforts. The subject property lies in the CG zone, and credit union branches buildings are a permitted use in the CG zone. The building that is proposed, and we'll give you a little look at the site plan. You can see the branch building on the, you can see the north arrow on the bottom of the screen, and then the branch building to the south of the property with ATM lanes on the north, and then kind of a traffic cut through for the neighbor to the west for delivery and freight and that sort of thing. So the building that is proposed, the branch building, is just over 6,000 square feet, two-story structure. See, this is the front of the structure. This will face on the Cougar Boulevard. This will be in the back to the north, I should say. This is the north view of the building. Floor plan, 2 stories. The majority of the building will be on the first floor. Here's a 3D rendering of the building. This is a view from Cougar Boulevard. This application has gone before the DRC, the Provo DRC Development Review Committee, and they approved this application, noting that the architecture, or recommended approval, noting that the architecture complements some of the buildings that have been built recently in the area, such as the hospital. Going back to the parking, going back to the site plan to discuss parking, there's 27 spaces proposed and also 4 ATM lanes. This parking plan meets the requirements of the CG zone and the other parking requirements of the city. There is, and generally this application appears to meet the requirements of the Provo City Code, and staff would recommend approval to the administrative hearing officer, recommend approval of this application, noting 3 things actually. Number one, there are 2 outstanding issues that Provo City's Coordinator Review Committee has. 2 items that are outstanding that need to be addressed. One I referenced earlier regarding the parking, or the reconfiguration of the lot, and then also getting an access agreement squared away with the neighbor to the east. So if you can see my cursor here, an access agreement is apparently in the works for this area, so that access to the branch property can be secured. Number 2 would be a statement from the Carterville neighborhood. Carterville neighborhood issued a statement of support for the proposal. They wanted me to read their statement. They say, "We, as the Carterville neighborhood, have met with this developer and are happy to welcome the Mountain American Credit Union Cougar Boulevard branch into our neighborhood. We appreciate the care they've taken to design a great project for our neighborhood and city. Thank you, Sarah, Carterville neighborhood chair." So that's item, the second to last item, and then finally the last item I have is a comment from adjacent neighbor to the east. Brian Johnson, owner of the State Farm building to the east, raised a few concerns. He noted that recently, I'm going to go back here. Recently, there was a new signal light installed right here at 400 West and Cougar Boulevard. He said that worked out well for him accessing his property. The challenge that he's having now is leaving his rear property. You can see my cursor. He's claiming that he has an issue leaving his rear parking lot and then accessing the driveway to the east of the branch building. He's saying that issue is very much related to the fact that after the service station was raised, Mountain American Credit Union put up a temporary fences around the property, and so he's claiming that is causing him some issues when he accesses the driveway, and noting that the area of the driveway is so minimal or so narrow that it's impeding his ability to, I guess, look north or south as he enters the driveway. And he's also noting that people are using his property as a U-turn to get back on the Cougar Boulevard, and has suffered some sign damage on his property because of it. Staff went to the property this morning to take a look at the driveway and the fencing. Staff noted generally a 20-foot driveway width north to south through this fenced area. So there's generally at least a 20-foot driveway width along the running north to south along the east side of the branch property. And did notice a little bit of sign damage to a sign in the property, but that's what staff noted. As to whether or not, obviously we have a neighbor stating that they have a concern with that driveway. Staff felt that there was a reasonable distance to enter the driveway and did not note an issue with accessing the driveway. So staff doesn't recommend any further action on this issue, but does note it to the administrative hearing officer. And again, staff would recommend approval of this application with the condition that the two outstanding CRC comments, again, the reconfiguration of the lot and the issue with the access even be addressed prior to building permit being issued for the property.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. And I understand we have the applicant. This is time if you want to add anything to that or to present anything you have.
I guess just maybe a couple comments. If you could go to the site plan, Brandon. One of the things we're doing here too is landscaping this site. So around the branch building, we'll have beautification with landscaping. Those areas between the parking lots and around the drive-up canopy. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So I just wanted to note that landscaping. There will be a lot of that added that I think will really beautify this area. We're also adding a fence, a vinyl fence on the west property line to screen the back of the development. The back of that development is really for, unloading and loading, not designed for a presentation of a facade. So we were trying to screen that, which I think helps beautify that for the neighbors to the east and to the neighbor directly east, State Farm. So I think it'll be a much nicer site than it has been with the gas station. I think the intent here was really to be a good neighbor and create a nice development for the surrounding development and neighbors. So I think that's it. We also looked at that fence. There might be a potential to move that fence a couple of feet, but it is a temporary fence. It's there just during construction. Once this thing is constructed, that fence would go away.
Okay, thank you. I think that's an important note to make. Thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing, so at this time I'd like to see if there's any public that want to speak on the item.
Okay, we don't have any yet, but there is that lag on YouTube, so let's give it about 30 seconds. Oh, and can you also put it on the public comment slide, please?
Yes, thank you.
No public comments.
Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and close the public comment portion of the hearing. Staff, can we see, I believe you took some pictures
Yes.
today. Could we see those just so we can address those concerns that you spoke of? So there's the right of way showing 20 feet, room for a north and south traffic. And what else do you have?
This is looking northward up the driveway. You can see
The lane continues to be that width. Okay.
right, and then this is the parking lot. That's the I assume that's the damaged sign the property owner was speaking of. It looks like the sign's been bent a bit. I think he's concerned about trying to leave this parking lot and then trying to enter back on the driving up and back on Cougar Boulevard, saying that his the lane is so narrow, or the driveway is so narrow that two cars can't pass one another. And when he gets on, it's created a little. When he tries to get on the driveway, it's a little bit of a safety issue.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I got. I got a copy of those comments from the neighbor. Seeing the pictures here, that there is north and southbound travel lane, or at least width for it. I think the other issue here is kind of unrelated to the issue that we have in front of us. So I've read through the staff report, and I understand that there are still those issues to address with the coordinator review committee. So that process should continue. But with that condition, I do find that I agree with the staff report, and I do approve this project plan application with the condition that all remaining CRC concerns be addressed prior to building permit approval. So that's all we have for today. I appreciate everybody, applicant, coming out and speaking to the item. You can go ahead and move forward, finish up your CRC, your staff review on this item, and go to the next stages of development. Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.